Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of The Flock Rundown. The Ravens just finished day 13 of training camp. Tyler Linderbaum still out. Tez Walker did return, though, and then all the other absences are the same. TJ Tampa's still out. Keaton Mitchell still out. Adisa Isaac still out. Trayvon Mullen still out. Tyler Linderbaum, Harbaugh did speak on it. He said it's still not serious. There's no new developments or anything. He's just done great. He's had a lot of practice, and he has a little bit of a soft tissue thing, so they don't want to risk it. Why push him? They know he's going to be great, so preserve him as much as you can until the regular season. I still don't think he's going to be out for a long time, but I totally understand the strategy. So there's not a lot to worry about or anything in that regard. Tez Walker returning today was great to see. It's definitely important for the rookies to get back. I think that, you know, the rookies versus like a Tyler Linderbaum is, even though he's young, it's so much more important for the rookies to be there. So hopefully Adisa Isaac can get back soon. I know he's dealing with that hamstring, and then TJ Tampa is still recovering from hernia surgery, so I don't expect that to be too much longer. We're definitely going to see him soon. Play of the day today was Rashod Bateman jumping up for it in the back of the end zone. Bateman's been on a little bit of a tear here. You know, he got banged up a couple practices ago. I think he got banged up a little bit again today. The last 10 minutes of practice, he was holding his ribs again, which is what was bothering him last time that he missed practice, and Harbaugh didn't have any comments on it because he said it literally just happened before practice ended. But Bateman kind of got up slow and just stayed off to the sidelines as practice finished. But I don't think that's serious. I don't really know what's going on with the rib thing, but it doesn't seem to be too serious. He came back pretty quick and was making an impact and playing through it. Bateman was even getting the better of Marlon Humphrey in one-on-one. So, I mean, that shows you right there. You know how good of an offseason and camp that Marlon Humphrey's having, but Bateman's putting in work on him right now, too. And probably not consistently. I'm sure they get the better of each other, but today it stood out that Bateman was beating Marlon, and then Bateman scores the touchdown. Hopefully Bateman can stay back out there. We definitely need them to develop that chemistry, and it seems like they are, man. Last practice, Lamar Bateman 4-5. Today he's throwing jump ball touchdown to him. Lamar's definitely trying to get him the ball. They're definitely working Bateman into this offense, and Bateman's going to be a huge piece for this offense. There's no doubt about it. We've been talking about that all off season. So many people have Bateman as their breakout player prediction, and I see why. I mean, he's going to get a lot of opportunity.
And really well, especially that we've seen that catch in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? He making the tough catches. He giving us a lot of good releases off the line and everything like that. But Bates going to be explosive this year. He's going to make a lot of plays for us for sure.
And shout out our Darius Washington too, man. Today he had a long pick six, and a lot of people kind of writing him off or ignoring his role after the Eddie Jackson signing. I know that the Eddie Jackson signing is going to definitely eat into Ardarius's role. Before we signed another safety, we were expecting Ardarius Washington potentially be the replacement to Geno Stone. Now we have Eddie Jackson, so that's looking less likely that he's the direct replacement, but that doesn't mean that Ardarius doesn't have a rotational role on this defense.
You know, competition is great. You know, it brings out the best of us and everything like that, but, man, I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job, you know, still learning a little bit, you know, flying around and making some plays.
There's no doubt in my mind that Ardarius makes this team and has some sort of role. I think it will be more of a depth, rotational type role. And he's already proven himself in the regular season too. I know he got hurt in the beginning to middle of last year, but he was balling out before that. He balled out all off season, made a name in the preseason, made the team, and then was kind of forced into having a role in our defense because we had a lot of injuries, and he shined. I mean, I remember when he got put on IR last year, we were all like, man, like what a blow. And who was saying that prior, you know what I mean? So I think Ardarius Washington is going to still be a part of this defense for sure, even though Eddie Jackson is here. I'm not worried about his role. I think having that much talent, that much competition only makes everyone better. And Ardarius is going to directly benefit from that. He's still a super young guy too, man. So just because Eddie's here doesn't mean that Ardarius isn't going to get more and more time and potentially be a consistent future piece for us. So I'm glad he's here, man. I'm rooting for Ardarius Washington, and I really think that he's definitely going to make some plays this year. Travis Jones with another dominant day. I mean, I keep hearing this after every single training camp practice. Like, this guy is basically unblockable. I mean, Harbaugh said the other day that when a lineman does kind of lock Travis Jones up on a play, he's like, well, that's a superhuman feat. Like, how did that happen? And that's just a credit to Travis Jones, his strength, his explosiveness. I know he's working on his pass rush game, so I'm expecting huge things, man, not only for an impact on our defense, but I think Travis Jones makes a real name for himself around the league as one of the best interior linemen. I think that Travis Jones is just getting started. I really think that we got a star on our hands here, and it's just kind of been brewing, year after year, just a little bit more. He didn't play in his rookie year as much as I thought, but he flashed when he was in, especially in the preseason. He was just tossing dudes back, and I'm like, all right, there's definitely something here. And then last year he played a bit more. And then I think this year, man, I really think this is the year where we're seeing Travis Jones out there consistently. Travis is going to be able to really disrupt some lines and make a huge difference for our defense and really help the pass rush out too. When you're getting that interior rush, it takes more people to come in to help. And now the edge guys are left with a lot of one-on-one battles, and hopefully Adafe Owe or Kyle Van Noy or Jabo or Tavius or any of those guys, or Matabike if he flips out there, whoever is just going to be able to win that one-on-one battle and get some pressure on the quarterback. Since Tyler Linderbaum was out today, they ran Ben Cleveland at center, which was super weird. It honestly feels like they're trying to find a spot for this guy, or they're just getting some extra looks, probably a bit of a combination of both. I think the fact that Cleveland's not slotted consistently in at right guard is kind of a clear statement of where he's at, though, and we say this every single year. Since the year we drafted him, I'm like, okay, well, Ben Cleveland's going to be competing for the right guard position, and now here we are years later, and I'm still kind of saying the same thing, and he's still not getting consistent starter looks there. Excited to see how the line is in the preseason, who they roll out, what all that looks like. I know they released an unofficial depth chart, but none of that really even matters. They got the rookies way back, and you really can't, based off that depth chart, tell who's about to have what role. We really need to see the preseason play out and keep seeing camp play out and see where these guys are. Because as we inch towards the regular season, as we get closer to the week of the game, you need to have that starting offensive line locked in. Like, we're going to definitely know who it is, So the fact that we're not consistently saying Ben Cleveland at right guard like Voorhees is at left guard is just a sign. I know they're working Falele in at right guard, but the fact that they're experimenting so much tells me that they're not insanely confident with Ben Cleveland, and I'm not surprised based off how the last few years have went. It just seems like that guy's so physically gifted. I know he's strong, but for some reason, I don't know if he just lacks that dog in him, like the consistent effort play after play to just beat the man in front of you. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but there's something going on, the fact that he just kind of keeps floating around and he's always just kind of a backup. He's not really getting put in. I know last year he did get put in a little bit and he looked fine, but something's going on in practice. I don't know if this guy just doesn't work as hard as others, but looking from a distance, they're just not slotting him in consistently enough there for me to say that he's our right guard at all. And the fact that they had him at center today says that they're still experimenting. So I don't know. We'll see. Definitely know more as the preseason games come. Speaking of that, this Friday against the Eagles, I can't wait. It's our first preseason action. And now the preseason's really more about the depth guys and who's going to make the team. It used to be you got that taste of the starters pretty often, at least for a half or a quarter or even a drive. But these past few years with all the injuries in the preseason, the Ravens had experience with that too. That one year when we lost J.K. and Marcus Peters and all these guys were just going down in the offseason. we've been playing it safe, as a lot of teams are, and they're just not playing their starters at all. So I'm not expecting to see a lot of key players, but that's fine. I'm so dived in. We're so dived into the depth competition, the roster battles, that I think that's more interesting during the preseason anyway. We know who the elite guys are. You know what I mean? Keep them safe for the regular season, and let's watch the other guys battle it out. So I'm excited for this Friday. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.